Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the QueenVee podcast. We are so hyped to finally have you guys back. We may have missed a week, but we are back and stronger than ever. I with my co-host Queenie. Say what's up.
What's up, gang? How's everyone doing today?
And today is going to be a good podcast day. I have a feeling we are going to talk about some juicy stuff. We're going to be talking about some important stuff that's been happening in both of our lives, and we're just going to, jump right into it. But by starting this podcast, I actually have not talked to Queenie in a very long time, actually, in like a week. So I just want to find out what's been up with you, Queenie. What's going on?
Oh my gosh, hi! So much has happened since I last saw you. Mostly, I went to a K-pop concert.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know if you can tell by the bucket hat and by my light stick being next to me, but I just came back from a concert, and this is now going to be my ban hammer.
Dude,
So
ban all the haters.
we're gonna ban the people who are not about it. We're gonna just bop them out of here. So.
Get out of the stream. Oh, it lights up.
Yeah, it's a light stick.
Okay, hold up. So low key, were you at the concert where like they were twerking? I saw a thing on
Yes.
TikTok where they try to twerk.
Well, they twerk at every concert.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they were definitely twerking hard. They had a really good choreo. It was really fun. It was funky and fresh. I went with a fellow streamer, Jello Spark. It was nice. And I've had some busy time because I also traveled. I went away for a couple of days, about 5 hours away of the
Oh,
drive.
wow. So we were kind of actually doing the same thing almost. Because I
Yeah,
did
we
something
were
very
traveling.
similar. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was nice to get away for a little bit and just like have a solo moment too. Like obviously I was going to visit friends.
Hmm.
I visited some camp friends and then obviously some online friends. But it was nice to just get away for a little bit and then come back because I know that my next real break isn't going to be until Christmas. So it's going to
Wow,
be.
yeah. But that's not too far along. That's not too far along. We could be there before you know it.
Don't scare me. I have so much to do.
Yo, that's
Then
so facts.
yeah, but you tell me a little bit about what you've been going on. What's been going on?
Yeah, so
Hey, jeez.
basically I went up to New Hampshire for the weekend. So again, same part of what you kind of did. It was the traveling, the 5 hours. It was about 5.5, 6 hours to get there. So that was pretty busy. Worst weekend of sleep I've ever had. Fun fact. I was like down horrific. Like I would say from Friday night up and Saturday night, I think I maybe only slept a combined of 10 hours. And
Stop.
I was like fucked up in the club. I was like the bed I was laying on, and shout out to my godfather and my aunt. I love you guys, but like get new beds, please. Holy shit, that was the worst night of sleep of my
You're just
life.
calling people out left, right, and
I know.
center.
I'm sorry. I love you guys. But no, like it was a twin size bed. First of all, let me just preface this because I have not. I don't think I've disclosed this yet. I am 6'2". I am 6'2", and I was on a twin size bed, so my legs probably
I did
hung
not
off.
know you were 6'2".
You didn't know that?
No, you don't look that tall.
I mean, if I stand up, I don't know.
But I don't see you standing up. I always see you sitting in a chair.
Yeah, that
So
is
that's
true.
probably why.
That is true. Yeah. Well, when we meet in person, you'll definitely see. But no. So, twin size bed. My legs hung off the end by like 3 inches, so it was like, it was not great. But last night I ended up sleeping 11 hours. I had a massive.
Okay.
I had a massive migraine, and I took a Tylenol PM around like 8:30, and then fell asleep at 9, and then woke up at like, or okay, I guess it'd be 10.5 hours, but and then woke up at 7:30 for work. And when I tell you, I woke up this morning and I felt like a new man. I just felt like I could go run a marathon.
I love it when the sleep does that for you.
Yeah, literally, it is like the best. But the other thing, as you guys can kind of see on stream, I got some ice on my neck finally. I'm so happy. I've been wanting a chain for so long. I wanted to get a Cuban, which is what I got. But I wanted to get a Cuban actually back in the summer. When we went on my cruise. I went on a cruise during the summer, and I really wanted to get some jewelry for that, and I wasn't able to because obviously the cruise is very expensive. So I could only really afford the cruise or the chain. Obviously, I'm going to choose the cruise. But I finally got my chain. It's a rose gold and white gold two-tone link with diamonds
It
on it.
looks so fly.
Oh my
I'm not gonna
god.
lie.
I am like popping. Like you probably can't see it because I low key I almost said chat. I gotta stop. I gotta break that habit. I gotta stop saying chat in the podcast. But I do low key want to get a new webcam.
It may be the podcast, but we could call it chat. We can really call them
Yeah.
whatever we want.
You're my
I mean, we can really open it up with "Yo, sup, YouTube."
Yeah, that's true. That's true too. That is very true. But yeah, no. So I want to get a new webcam to show off because maybe you can kind of see it, like how it like kind of like, you know, kind of shimmers, but nah, this shit fucking glows, which is sick. And then I also got a bracelet as well that has diamonds on it, and it's like a sword. It's so dope, dude. But yeah, so that's what's been new with me. Oh, my soccer season is finally over. So I coach soccer. It's finally over. We ended up winning the end of the season tournament.
That's so hype.
Yeah, and like we were not doing well towards the end of the season. I think we ended the season on 2 losses, but then it doesn't really matter because like at the tournament, that's what really matters. And we ended up winning the tournament. We went 4-0. So we ended up like
that's huge.
Yeah, so I'm throwing them a pizza party tomorrow. We're doing a pizza party and like a parent-kid game.
Cute.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And then we turned my focus onto diving because now I'm coaching diving, which actually one of my kids hit the board today. And like,
that's terrifying.
Yeah, thankfully did not get super hurt. He just got some brush burn on his leg. But when that happened, I was like shitting myself because I was like, oh my God. But he's okay. Thankfully.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, it's a dangerous sport. It doesn't look like one, but it definitely.
No, it definitely is. Especially because you're going from such a high distance, and if you don't know how to dive properly, like the bottom of the pool has always been my biggest fear.
Yeah, so that is like one thing that was like kind of nerve-wracking today. But I mean, you know, sometimes you got to make those mistakes to learn, and hopefully now he learns to not jump backwards and go forwards. But no, good group of kids though. I'm really enjoying my time with them.
That's good though.
I definitely think. Yeah, I definitely think the high school kids are my demographic. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Just been hanging out. We both broke our hiatus. We both went live on Twitch today and yesterday. So that's good. We're back on our streaming grind. We both took a little break there.
It's been about a week.
Yeah, mine was about 2 weeks, I think it was for me. But it was just because I was practically working 3 jobs and still going to school, so just
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
No one's surprised.
You were playing some Valorant today. How'd that go?
I was. Before my stream died, it was very disappointing. It was funny because the game that my stream died, I'm kind of happy that it died because my teammates were just like, it was interesting. I'm probably making a YouTube video about it because of like they were like.
Oh really? Well, I couldn't hear your teammates on the stream for some reason.
Everyone else heard them though. That was the weird part. Because I had it open on my phone and I could hear the Valorant.
Like really?
Everything.
Like I heard the Valorant noise. I just didn't hear the teammates talking.
Yeah. Oh, I also muted a bunch of them.
Maybe I came in after you muted. Maybe that could have.
Because it was something else, to say the least. But I know today's also a big day. So for those of our Canadian listeners, this is a big day for America.
Yeah.
The day that we're currently filming this because they are currently in the midst of voting. So can you tell me a little bit about what that is like specifically? Because I really don't even know what the vote is for.
Yeah. Okay. So today was National Voting Day. It's kind of like a holiday. A couple schools actually had off. My mom didn't, but the school district that I work for did. So I kind of made my divers come in on their day off. But oh well, that sucks. You sign up for a varsity sport, you have to come in. No kidding. But no, so today the polls open at 7:30. They go until 8. And basically it's just your American civic duty to go and vote. This is how we choose our government. This is who we choose, who's going to be on what seat, et cetera, et cetera. And this was a local voting day. So every state had their own different vote. So because I live in Pennsylvania, we were voting for governor, senate, state rep, and a couple other like local stuff. And I'm not going to disclose who I voted for because I don't want to get hate or, anything from any other side. If you genuinely want to know who I voted for, go check out my socials. I did post a picture of my signs that I have outside my house, and that'll kind of give that away. But just on the podcast, I don't really want to disclose that. But yeah, we go in, we sit in this booth, we click the names we want, we make sure it casts, and then it goes into a lockbox so that no one can tamper it. It's pretty cool. It is a big day. It's really cool to you get a little I voted sticker. Yeah, it's definitely cool. This is probably how many times am I going to say cool in this podcast? This is probably the 4th time I voted my whole entire life, because we can't vote until we're 21. So
until you're 21.
Oh, sorry. 18. My fault. No,
oh
is
God,
it 20?
you scared the crap out of me.
Is it 21? Hold on. When was the first presidential election? Was that in 2016? It was. Okay, never mind. 18. Because I voted when I was 18. Yeah.
I was sitting here like, what?
Yeah. No. So I'm 50% right on my voting.
So then, just because I'm who I am, I know a little bit about a Canadian because I voted as a Canadian. Mm-hmm. When you say like you click the box, is it an electronic thing?
It is an electronic thing. So it's like a touchscreen computer, yeah. So I go in, it's like this. So it's literally like as big as probably what you see. Like here's my computer all at the end of my desk. It's probably only like that big, and it's a touchscreen. And you like click the box, and if you want to type something in, there's like a keyboard, and then you hit sign ballot or send ballot, and it comes down, and it's like in paper, it shows you, like, please confirm if this is who you voted for, da-da-da-da-da. You look at the paper, go, yes, that it is. You click it again, and then it, like, goes into the machine and locks in the machine. So, okay. And that's how it's, like, collected. But, yeah, it's all, like, a computer.
Oh, that's so weird. We don't have that at all.
Is it, like, written? I actually would prefer written, to be honest, but...
Well, then how many of these computers are set up at your station?
1.
Yeah, this is completely different. So in Canada, when you go in, they have different voting stations based on like your last name. So you have to go to like a specific station, obviously. And you have to go to a specific poll booth number, but there's usually like 10 at each location. And it's like a written ballot. You can only use a certain writing utensil for it.
Yep.
And then it goes in the box. Like there's a box and there's someone looking at the box too to make sure you folded it properly and everything.
Okay.
And then they like rip something off, but like it's pretty intense. There's like a lot of people there just like supervising in general. Excuse me. But I also know that like our voting goes until like 9 p.m. and then the votes are tallied overnight.
Yeah, so that's
usually
pretty much
at about like 11, 12, you can get a good idea of who it's actually going to be. And then there's some elections where they'll call it at like 1. Yeah. Sometimes they call it at like 11. Sometimes they call it really early. But the way it works in Canada is, yes, we have municipal, provincial, and federal.
Okay.
So municipal being local, provincial being like the state, and then federal being the country. So we just recently had our municipal, which is like our mayor.
Okay.
And our mayor. But the provincial one votes MPPs in our provincial government. So like you get like someone based on your area, and then the government that gets the most votes, that's who's the person in charge then. So like if for example, right now in Canada, it is a conservative government. So Doug Ford had to be voted in his riding, and then his party had to get so many votes so that he could be on top. And then it's the same thing. Federally, you have to first get in your riding. And then once you're in your riding, then whoever has the most votes at the end wins. There's been cases before, like, for example, when people are leaving Parliament and they just don't get voted in their own individual riding as well. Like there's huge...
So is riding like your party?
Riding is your local where you are based on your population.
Okay.
So it's all based on population. So based on like how many people. So for example, the city of what's a good example? The city of Toronto, for example, has a lot of ridings, like multiple, just because it's such a densely packed area. But then when you look at the map of Canada, 3 territories, like there's only like 3 ridings, one for all of Nunavut, one for all of Northwest Territories, just because of how many people live there.
Oh, okay. So that's kind of like what we call our electoral college then, is kind of what it sounds like. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how, so like, it's interesting to me to hear that you have like this box.
Yeah,
Especially 'cause,
it's
like, when I'm voting, I'm there for maybe 5 minutes.
so like ours was also kind of like okay, it's more like 15 minutes, but like yeah. So you have it based on your last name, correct?
Yeah, you go you first have to register to vote,
Yeah,
and
right.
then
And then
after
you
you've registered, you get your thing, and then when you go to like your station, you have to go to the person based on your last name.
so how America does it is by your address. So one location will be like, for example, where I live. One location will be for all of Easton. One location will be for the outer lying part of Easton's. One location will be for they do it by like precinct. I think is what they dub it. But yeah, so they don't do it by like nickname, last name, or anything like that.
Well, like it's also based on your geographical location as well. Like you have to go to that location, and but then once you're there, you have to like go based on your name
Yeah,
to like
yeah,
get your voting valid.
yeah. Gotcha.
And then they also check your ID and everything.
Yeah, yeah, same here. They do driver's license. You have to sign like your ballot ticket or whatever, like with your name. And I think we were number 208 for the day. So, yeah. But I always like voting. It always makes you feel good afterwards. Like like you did your job. Like you're fighting for what you believe in. Like this is the number one, like way to kind of go about. Like when I say practice what you preach, like this is a good way to do that. Like if you want to change the world, like this is a good way to kind of vote for people that kind of align with your beliefs, which I really enjoy doing. So it's a good day. Like today has been a good day for me, I think. I don't know. I'm chilling in a tank top. It's November and I'm still like tank top weather. I'm chilling. You know what I mean? Like,
That's crazy to me.
well, and speaking of crazy, it was fucking 77 this weekend here. Sorry, it's 77 Fahrenheit. So I think that's about like 25 Celsius.
That's crazy. It was
Yeah.
like 18 degrees Celsius here, and it was like jarring because like I think it because in comparison, I went to visit my like online friends as well. Last year at this time when I went, I was in full winter gear and it was snowing on the way
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Last Halloween here, I was dressed as who did I go as last year? Itachi. I was dressed as Itachi with no undershirt on, and I almost got freaking hypothermia because of how cold it was. Like it's ridiculous, but I don't
That's
know,
scary.
man. Global warming, man, it's a real thing. But let's just uncomfortably laugh about that and move on. But yeah, so tell me about this Blackpink concert. So you went to go see it's K-pop, right?
Yeah, I'm a huge K-pop fan, and this is contrary to what people think. This will be my last K-pop concert. It's an experience that I've been very lucky to have been a part of. But it's definitely like I'm old age K-pop, and there's a new age of K-pop that I'm not a fan of. But this concert was like crazy. There's this like culturalisms based on your K-pop concert, and it's an experience. Like you're paying and they're delivering. Like going
Huh.
to a K-pop concert is completely different than any concert I've ever been to.
I feel that because like nothing feels worse than like going to a concert and feeling like you didn't get your money's worth. Like that is like that has happened to me only thankfully like only once or twice. But like I feel like with K-pop you never have to worry about that.
No, so like number one, obviously they're making so much money based on these light sticks. Every band has a light stick.
Every band.
Every band.
So that's not just a Blackpink. I thought that was just a Blackpink thing.
No, every band. I actually have a Big Bang one over here. It's hiding. It's a little far away. And there was also one for Wonder Girls back in the day as well. But like the basic thing with the light sticks is like making you feel like you're a part of the show. So sometimes, like when you're in Korea, they didn't do this here, but when you're in Korea, sometimes they're Bluetooth synced to the
Yeah, I've
actual
seen that.
show.
I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in this one, they'll say like light sticks up for this one, or like it'll tell you to go to like certain modes and stuff. And like that makes you feel like you're a part of the experience already. So that's the first thing. The second thing with the K-pop concert is in between songs, you know how sometimes in American concerts they'll do like bits being like, oh hey, like Toronto,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Vancouver,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
how you doing? Like so at the end of every couple of songs, they'll put on like a music video of like
Hmm.
their music and then they'll completely change their costumes and do a completely different thing. And then like they'll have that part. And then so for example for Blackpink, a lot of them have solo songs based on their new album. So they did a whole section for each of the girls, like everyone had their moment to shine. They all changed their costumes and stuff like that, whatever. But they also do specific choreography for the concert. Like they obviously have their choreo for their regular songs, but like it's great. It's so hard to explain. But it was 2 hours, 2 hours only. And from the beginning to the end, there's visuals when it comes to the multimedia with the inclusion of their MVs. There's choreo, there's singing. It's a mixture of live singing versus their album singing, which is very different than an American style where it's just completely live a lot of the time.
Yeah.
It's very rare that a K-pop band will go completely live the whole time. And part of it is because of the choreography.
So they would mainly just do more dancing than they would singing at some points. Okay.
Yeah. And sometimes you'll hear them singing and there'll be 2 of them because they're live singing over their track. Which is a completely different experience. And then obviously they have bits specific to where you are currently geographically located. Often at K-pop K-pop concerts, they'll do a group photo. They'll bow to thank you for coming to the concert. They'll do a lot of like stuff for their people in their standing section. A lot of interaction there.
Yeah. Are you not a pit gal? You don't go in the standing section? No.
I would. I'm not gonna pay $1,200.
Holy fucking nah! For
$800 to $1,200
for that.
$800 to $1,200.
That's okay. Yeah, I wouldn't pay that either.
Yeah, my ticket. I'm willing to say this. My ticket was 300 Canadian.
Huh?
300, and I was in one of the higher rows, but I was in the middle.
And this is for a K-pop group. Like this isn't for Drake.
Yeah, I paid $450 to go see Big Bang back a couple years ago, and that was in the 100 section.
Like I feel like Drake is cheaper.
Oh no, K-pop bands are, because they're transporting everything from Korea.
That's fair. Yeah. I do understand that, but I'm just saying it. Like Drake is cheaper. Drake is arguably one of the biggest artists right now, and he's cheaper.
Like the K-pop fan experience, you are going to be paying more money than any other.
That's crazy.
But also, it's an experience.
Yeah.
Like they call them, for Blackpink, they call themselves the Blanks, right? And they have like a meetup. So for example, they had 2 meetups before the concert.
Okay, now that's cool. So did you get to meet up with them?
Well, no, like I didn't because I'm here.
So elsewhere. You have to pay that.
But they do a lot of fan experience stuff. Right? Because they know that it's a big deal for them to be in another country. But even in Korea, they also do that a lot as well. They'll go to malls, do mall visits.
Hey, shout out them. Like, that's actually pretty cool. Like, a lot of artists don't do that.
No. It's an entirely different thing. And they work way harder in Korea. Like, there's a huge... I don't know how familiar are you with the K-pop industry?
Zero. I just know that people on Twitter with K-pop is, like, insane. Like, they're crazy.
Okay. So the big thing for anyone who doesn't know K-pop that well is it is a cult. Yeah. Number 1. Number 2, there are diehard fans, and you will always be a diehard fan. It is a very specific style of music because K-pop doesn't just generalize the pop industry. You can have the K-hip-hop, the K-rap, the K-ballads, but the majority of the K-pop that I'm speaking about is the girl bands and the boy bands. And the girl bands and the boy bands are always under a certain company. There always used to be the big 3, at least when I was growing up, YG Entertainment, JYP, and SM Entertainment. It's gotten a little bit bigger than that now. And a lot of the bigger boy bands and girl bands now sometimes will separate, but they're under contract. So a lot of the money that they make does not go to them.
Yeah, I figured that much.
Their company. Their contracts back in the day were called slave contracts. That's what the industry called them because it dictated what they could eat, dictated when they needed to be training and when they couldn't. They couldn't go to school. They're not allowed dating. And it dictated when they could see their family. So
that's crazy. So
it's intense. So if you're a K-pop idol, you train as a trainee and for 7 to 12 years, 5 to 12 years, I want to say, actually 5 to 12 now that I'm thinking about it. And then you're picked. And you're picked with your group, so you don't get to choose who you are in your K-pop band.
So okay, I don't I'm obviously a big anime nerd, right? So there's an anime called Odd Taxi. I don't know if you've watched it. There's something similar where there's a girl group, a girl pop group, and like they didn't know each other beforehand, and obviously the one singer is contracted more than the other singers. So like that's like a whole plot line of the whole, because like obviously I'm not gonna spoil it, but like obviously that's like a whole that's part of that's one of the bigger parts of the plot of Odd Taxi is them. So like it's kind of funny that you're saying that because I've seen that in like culture before, like I've seen that in anime before. So
And the industry has gotten better since it's gotten out, especially that it's gotten out internationally.
yeah,
I feel like it's gotten a lot better. I was very shocked when Blackpink signed back with YG. I was very shocked because YG has one of the strictest. As someone who is a huge YG girl, like the company in general, growing up, I was a huge fan of anything that they put signed out just because I was young. And a lot of the music that they produced and wrote, I was a fan of. And they have some of the strictest rules and contracts. For example, Big Bang was my number one for a while. We don't talk about him anymore because one of their members I'm pretty sure he's in jail now. It's that bad. I could talk endlessly about the crazy world behind K-pop idol bands and stuff like that. But there are also cases in Big Bang where they grow up training together. They start when they're 9 or 11 and they grow up together, or they're contacted, like they're in the underground scene, like for example Top Choi Sung-hyun under the like underground scene, and they're signed and then they train later, or sometimes they come from a different company completely and they're just chucked in there, right? But it's strenuous hours, completely crazy schedule, everything, but because they know it makes money, they have a formula and they know it's going to make money.
Yeah, so they're trying to capitalize on like the product pretty much instead.
And that's the reason why going international became such a big thing. Wonder Girls was the first concert I saw. I saw them in 2010. This is going to age me a little bit. And then I want to say after the Wonder Girls came to Canada, that's when a lot of K-pop bands realized that they can monopolize on their English audience, because the rise of social media allowed these 90s, early 2000s bands to be thrown into the spotlight. And then these K-pop artists also get shows, TV shows about them and about their lives, which allows a whole new audience of K-drama fans to come in and allows our international audiences to see that, because then they'll put the English subtitles on it, right? And then you get the European fans who get the subtitles in their language, and now they're invested in and part of this company. And then you get the stress of their government for the boys bands when they need to go to the military and they're getting all these military exemptions, and then the band disbands because they have to go to the military now, and then they have fans that are waiting for them. There's K-pop idols who filmed like months of YouTube content for their fans while they're on military service. It's an entire experience, and the big thing about it is they're workhorses. They work.
Yeah,
and it's paying off. They follow the formula and it pays off, and you make millions.
That's actually really funny that you said about the military experience, because soccer players have to do the same thing. So there's a hugely popular Korean soccer player, Heung-min Son. He plays for Tottenham Hotspur, and their rules are, if you don't win a trophy, like an international trophy with South Korea, you're not exempt from your military duties. So there was a tournament where South Korea lost when they were supposed to win, and ended up like he didn't get his military service postponed. So thankfully, because he's so successful in his domestic club with Spurs, they allowed him to defer it. So once he retires, he now has to go. Or I can't remember if maybe South Korea won in another cup or something, and maybe he doesn't have to do it anymore. But I just remember like that was like the big focus, was like, if South Korea does not win this game, they still have to do military duty. And Son, being one of like Tottenham Hotspur's star players, being one of their like number one money earners, might have to not play for them for 2 years because they had to do military duty, which is like crazy to me. So that's funny how that like kind of overlaps.
It overlaps. And the big piece too, with, I'm sure with the soccer agent too, right? But like these K-pop idols, they make so much money also because the amount of brand deals, like they were the OG
Oh yeah.
Influencers. I, as a young high schooler, got a Korean cell phone because the very first debut song of my favorite girl group 21 was a promotion for a phone, and I got it here in Canada.
Are you
Like,
serious? Like you imported your phone?
yeah, like
Wow.
no cap. I wanted that song. It was called Lollipop, and it's not even like a good song now. I loved it back then. I forced so many people to listen to it back then. And the big thing is their music videos are full masterpieces. Like full masterpieces. And part of they spend so much money on them. And real companies will spend millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars because they know that there is a fan base with them. A lot of K-pop idols also transition into acting because once their star status name is on that drama, that first episode, regardless of how they act, is going to have so much traffic directed towards them. More so, I would compare it to Twilight, the age of Twilight.
Oh, Jesus.
That's the hype.
I don't want to talk about that time. Oh my God. I just got triggered. Oh.
But the age of Twilight, that's what it is. People getting the tattoos, people crying. There's
Yeah.
an entire. I'm gonna pause this conversation just because I want to do more research on the mega fans. There's a term in Korea they have for the big fans where the police have to get involved. Like, you know how sometimes we talk about like stalkers
stands,
and like celebrities
like,
having security?
yeah.
We're talking about fans who send hate mail and death threats to family members of the K-pop idol groups because they never said hi to them at a concert.
Well,
Like
yeah,
there's
that's they call them stands, right? STANS. Oh,
no
I thought
stands are the big fans. There's one that's I'm gonna do more
like
research.
there's one above that. Like, is that
Yeah.
what it? Okay.
Yeah.
Mentally deranged? I don't know. No, kidding. I'm kidding.
But like it's bad. It's bad. We're talking like hospitalizations. We're talking
Jesus
about like
Christ. Oh my
psychosis, but we're also discussing with that, it's not just like never-ending gifts, but you also talk about the online effects. Because I will say this, we think TikTok is bad. That is nothing in comparison to the type of internet that is surrounding K-pop idols.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything so crazy than when I saw the news of Seungri that came out and the amount of the internet that just completely turned on him. When a K-pop idol, when there's a rumor of them dating someone, how the internet turns on them. It's insane. My favorite girl group has Park Bom. She had a lot of surgeries to her face because in Korea it's like normal for you to get surgery. And it's also normal for them for your passport photos to get photoshopped, which, believe it or not, that's a normal thing.
That's insanely illegal, but okay.
No, not in Korea. You can get it photoshopped to get rid of your acne and stuff like that, or to fix your face for face shaming. You know, completely normal. She got a lot of work done, partially because of the internet trolls and the way that the things the internet said to her, partially because of things she was going through in her personal life. But the internet attacked her so much that she really hasn't been seen in the entertainment industry since.
Well, that's a shame. That's a shame. But
and
maybe that's better for her. Maybe that's for her own.
Well, she grew up in America. Like she has so much talent. She was one of the best voices I'd heard in a long time. But the internet attacked her. So much so that she was kicked off of a show she was on. So much so that the contract that she wanted to sign was at risk because of it. Crazy. Life or death, right?
Yeah, man. That's insane. But I mean, I don't know if that's the life that gets chosen for them. Like, I mean, I guess it's not like all bad. Like, they get a lot of fame and notoriety. Like, obviously there's a good side and bad side. Yeah. Like, there's good sides and bad sides to everything. But you kind of see that with like Twitch streamers too. Like, especially like the Amaranth shit that just popped off. Like, that was insanely, and this is coming from someone who doesn't really like Amaranth, not for what she does, just like her personality. Like, I think she's very, cocky. But on the flip side, like, now I realize, like, oh my god, that was not her. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that was the character she was forced to play. Yeah.
The part I actually cried.
Yeah, no, same. I felt so bad.
The part that broke me the most was her stream, not the stream when she had to shut down because the cops were there. The stream after,
where she was like, I don't have to show cleavage anymore. That one.
That broke me. Like, the control and the power is a big piece, but also the fact that her entire worth in that marriage was solely based on her body.
Yeah, and the money. Like the fact that like he just wanted to control the fact that he was pissing away money because he didn't like what she was doing mind fucks me. Like that is not his money. That is her money.
Right.
Like, and I know it's not all about the money, and obviously like her health as well is very important, but like again, just having that mindset of like controlling someone completely is like so foreign to me, and it's just like I hate it. Like it's
That's
so
the world. And that's also different cultures, different
yeah
upbringings, right? Because like obviously there's so many cultures in the world where that have the man as the sole provider or the man as the person who's in charge. And obviously we will never know the pertinent parts of someone's private life, especially with
yeah.
marriage. But in his mind, he was the one in power.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He was the one that needed to be in control, even though she was the sole breadwinner. He didn't view that as her being the winner. He viewed that as her enabling him.
Yeah.
Him enabling her to be able to be the sole breadwinner.
Like she was only famous because of him.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, but that shit was horrible. We're seeing some other YouTube drama shit going on. I know I don't know if you're like on the UK side of things, but there's a big UK YouTuber who was making fun of Andrew Tate, but then went a little too far and made fun of his religion and kind of dissed like a whole religion and had to make a whole like apology video, and brand sponsors dropped him and all this shit. And I'm like, this is the thing with YouTube apologies. Are you sorry? Or are you sorry because you got caught? Like, that's my thing. Like, he always pushed the limit. I never really liked him. Like, I love YouTube, the UK YouTube scene. I'm a big Sidemen fan, like, all this shit. I never really liked this person. I'm not even going to say his name because, like, fuck him. Like, he doesn't need the publicity. But, like, he always made jokes that just you couldn't laugh. Like, they were funny, but if you laughed, you felt bad because there was, like, a underlying meaning to it, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you couldn't really do like react how you would like to. And I think finally he just pushed it a little too far. And you know, I'm glad he's losing sponsorships. I'm glad he's being held accountable. I'm usually not a big fan of cancel culture, but if we just do it appropriately, then like sure, like hold him accountable. But like don't like ruin the dude's life. Which another thing coming out of UK YouTube, a huge UK YouTuber just got released from prison a couple months ago, and he's back to making content, and I don't really know how to feel about it because he used to be he used to be one of my favorite creators. And when I found out he was in prison, and when I found out what he was in prison for, I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. And again, he made a whole mental health argument about it, and I understand mental health is a huge problem, but it doesn't give you the right to do what he did. And I think he did a good job of owning up to it. He was like, I did my sentence. I fucked up. I'm not using my mental health as an excuse anymore. I learned from it. We're moving past it. And if you want to ride with me still, you can. If you don't waste your time. And I was like, you know what? That's a good way to come back from things. Am I going to support him still? Fuck no. I don't support what he did. But I think that's just a good way of being like, here's what happened. I learned from it. Everybody deserves a second chance. If you want to rock with me, you can. If not, like, that's not the end of the world. And I think I respect that. That's what I'll say. I don't think I like it per se, but I respect that mindset. That's probably the last video I would watch of his ever. And he succeeded. He got me to click the video. I wasn't gonna watch it, but then like his clickbait, like kind of, you know. But it is what it is. I don't know. Just an interesting concept. But moving away from YouTube things, I want to talk about something that's kind of crazy. All right, so I don't know.
I'm ready.
I don't know, Queenie. How many relationships have you been in prior to Jatsky? If you want to disclose, if you don't want to disclose, you don't have to disclose. Don't disclose. We'll move past that.
I'd say at least one real relationship.
Okay, so
I've been on a fair number of dates.
Right. Well, no, we're not counting dates. We're just talking about like relationships, right? So I'm gonna just throw this out here. I have maybe had 6 serious relationships, 2 in high school. No, 5. 2 in high school, 2 in college, 1 and then my current. So what I consider serious is like, dated for a long time. I would say at least 2 months, right? Because high school flings that are 2 months long, like, you know what I mean. But like,
2 months is serious?
well, I'm talking about in the high school and like the high school aspect. Like my college.
But before you get into the story, how many months do you consider a relationship to be a relationship like before it's serious?
So I'm like, have you ever seen the show How I Met Your Mother?
No.
Okay, so they talk about like the I love you slut or the I love you prude. I'm an I love you prude. It takes me a very long time to say that word. So for me, I think when you start saying I love you is when it gets serious. So it doesn't really matter what time frame. I think it's just that phrase, right? So I'll say I'll just come out and say it. So my first girl that I ever loved announced her engagement this weekend. And like, I don't know how to feel about it. Cause like on one side, I'm, I don't care. I have not thought about this woman in years. I'm saying years. Like I would say probably about like freshman year in college. That was like the last time I like just genuinely thought about her, right? And here's the crazy thing. And this is why I think technology is taking over, right? Never thought of this girl. Have not seen this girl post on Instagram. Have not seen this girl post on Twitter. Have not seen this girl. I have not texted this girl. Have not seen this girl on Facebook, etc., etc. I had a dream about her. Not like in a weird way, but like in a way where she was just present in the dream, right? Not like anything going, like not trying to be creepy, not trying to be weird. Just like, I think I was reminiscing about high school and she just happened to be in the dream. So like in my head, yeah. Like in my head, I'm like, okay, interesting dream. Woke up, went about my life. I go on Instagram as soon as I wake up. Remember, have not seen or heard from her in years, right? The first post on my Instagram feed is her engagement announcement. And I'm like, what the fuck? She was in my dream literally 2 hours ago. I wake up after not thinking about this girl in a very long time, and she's on my Instagram feed, right? So I'm like, that's fucking weird. So I commented, I was like, congratulations, exclamation point, exclamation point. She liked the comment, moved on, whatever. It is what it is, right? So at first I was like, nah, I'm chilling. Like, whatever, good for her, right? Whatever. Texted my best friend, told them the whole situation. They were like, LOL, I was going to send you the exact same post that you saw, LOL. And then like as the day went on, I just kind of felt weird about it because like not that she's engaged and I missed out, because at the end of the day she broke up with me. It's her loss. She's broke. I'm up. What up? No, I'm kidding. But like I just felt weird that like someone my age and someone that I was involved with is now engaged. That's the first time that's ever happened to me. So like, yeah. So like, and I told my current girlfriend this, and she was like, well, I was gonna say, were you depressed by it? And I was like, no. And she was like, well, then I was gonna say, because like, what the fuck am I here for then if you're upset about that? And I was like, no, obviously, like, I'm with you, like, I love you, like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm not, I don't want to go back to her. That's like, I want to make that very clear, as if she's listening to this, like, I don't want to go back to her. I only want to be with my girlfriend. And like, but it was just, it wasn't the thought that I was like, damn, I missed out. It was the thought of someone that I was involved with is now engaged. And I don't know how to feel about that because like, I don't know. Like, it's a weird thing. I don't know. What are you, unpack this for me. I don't know what's happening.
There's a lot of things I heard there. There was one red flag, but I want to talk a little bit about my experience in the sense, someone I dated in my first year, I literally told him it wasn't a date because I was that like wishy-washy about it.
Yeah.
6 months later, was engaged. 6 months after our first date.
Okay, that's fucking wild.
So, and I actually, it's funny you mentioned this because I checked out his profile like a week ago because I was like, oh, like, I wonder if I still have this guy. Because I was just going through my list and like, I follow a lot of people. I'm like, okay, who's still in my life? Who's not? Like, get rid of.
Yeah.
I've done that. And his kid, like kids, are in the photo. Like
kids, multiple kids, like children.
Yeah, children, like 2. So it's like,
Uh,
I see what you're saying by the sense of the weirdness, not because of like what I could have missed. It's more that's someone my age, right? That's someone who did the exact same experiences,
yes, yes, yes,
right?
yes, 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 yes.
So then you start to think about yourself, not because of like you yourself in that situation. You just start to evaluate you because you're like, okay, well, where am I then? If they're there, what am I? And that's like the social media effect, right?
That's a good point.
Right? It's a social media effect, and it's a byproduct of being on social media for so long. Because if you really think about it, if you really hardcore think about it, 20, 30 years ago, you just assumed that your exes all got married.
Yeah, true.
Right? It's not something you think about. It's not something you're faced with unless you go into a grocery store and you see them with their kids, right?
Right.
It's not something you're faced with. So now you're being faced with it on your profile feed, right? And you're
Yeah.
like, huh, that's you're not upset. It's just like interesting because you start to think about your life and how that impacts you. You're not thinking about them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not being like, man, like I miss her. I wish like I had another chance before. It's not like that. Because like I said, she has not been on my mind, probably for a good solid 6 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other thing, like while you were saying that makes it a little bit different, was with my other exes. Like I'm cool with my one, I'm cool with two, and I'm not cool with the one. And then her, like we just kind of ended. So there was no like, I'm sure if I were to see her, I'd be like, yo, what's up? But like that'd be it. Like, you know what I mean? Like we didn't keep a rapport.
Yeah.
We didn't keep a friendship. Whereas like two of my exes I have, one of my exes is like my best friend. We just realized we work better as friends.
Yeah.
And then the other one I don't want to go there. That's a mess. But like
It's a mess.
I think she was the only one that never really had an ending. So like that was just like a weird thing. But
A weird thing, yeah.
I want to know
Especially because you remembered them in their state that they were in, not in the state that
that
they're
they're
in
in
now.
now. Exactly that. Exactly
Yeah.
that. Because
So you're picturing her as your high school friend. Like your
right.
high school.
As right.
You're not picturing her as this new
Like
person.
as a 24-year-old, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
And I
And
don't
I
know.
think the big piece that you mentioned there is because I have a lot of friends. I went to a religious high school. So a lot of the people I went to high school with are married and with multiple kids and now who are kids in kindergarten. So like
Ooh. So that's
the
like
big thing that
20-year-old babies there. They're like they were having babies at 20, I should say. I don't know.
they were even having like babies when they were 24, when they're your age. Right? Like the thing is like you obviously start to think about it not because like you're jealous and not because of the life that they're having, because of how different your life is in comparison. Like you're not at that state. You're in
Yeah.
a different state. That's not a bad thing either. And I think it's good to be aware that you're in a different state and it's okay to feel weird about it, not because of the situation that they're in, but because of you.
Yeah.
The whole point of social media is to share about yourself. And
That's
when you're
true.
viewing someone else's profile, you are automatically going to view that against yourself. That's why brands and advertisement agents are always putting so much money into social media influencers.
Yeah. Wow. I
Right?
didn't think of that.
So it's the same thing with marriage. It's the same thing with kids. It's the same thing when your friend gets that cool new job, gets that cool new car. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Huh. I wanna know what the red flag was. You said that there was a red flag. I want to know what that
I
was.
did say it, and then I completely forgot what it was. When I watch the podcast back, I'm gonna.
No, I want to know now. All right.
I
Also,
don't remember.
to clarify,
There's something you said. I made a face when
yeah, I
you're
know.
editing.
I think I know what it was. I think I know what it was. To clarify, the "she broke I'm up" comment was a joke. Let me just clarify that right now. I don't know if that was what you were referring to,
No,
but
it'll come to me, and I'll comment on it, and we can talk about
was
it.
it the first girl that I loved? I don't know. I want to know. I want to know. Oh
I want to
shit.
know too. I can't remember. I got excited talking about the points that I had based on what you said. And I think the big piece too, now that I'm thinking about this with our gaming industry stuff too, it's the same thing in gaming where you see someone do something and you want to get there yourself. That's not jealousy, it's because you have your own goals and that person is at their goals. So you're like thinking about that too, right?
Yeah.
So, like, for example, right now, today is also a big day because Wendy and Abe, two of like big Twitch streamers, are getting married.
Oh, I saw that on Twitter. They're live streaming their
Yeah.
wedding. Yeah.
Right, they're getting married, and a lot of the Twitch streamers in their lives on their streams, they said, "Wow, I can't believe they're getting married." Not because they're jealous, not because like, oh, like I can't believe they're getting married. No, they think it's the sweetest thing ever, but because they're in a different state. They're in a different part of their lives.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like XQC will never get why people move to YouTube because he's such a Twitch person. Same with Pokey. It's hard for them to reconcile with it right now because it's not in their state. They're in a different state.
Yeah.
Just like we are. We're in our own states. I currently have a partner. You currently have a partner. We're in our own states, right?
Yeah.
One of my best friends is single, living in Vietnam, living her best life. Just spent the last 2 months in Portugal, living her best life.
That sounds fantastic, actually.
Right? As much as I would love to do that too, that's her state.
Yeah.
And when I look at her pictures online, I celebrate that and congratulate her for living her life in her state.
Yeah. Right? And in all like non-joking, like all joking aside, like I am very happy for her. Like good for her for, you know.
And I can tell based on what you said too, like you commented congratulations. You can clearly see through your actions and what you're saying that you're doing it out of pure congratulations. You're just more shocked. It's the first one.
It's so like I said, it's like the first. So, and like I think the thing that was like also kind of like crazy to me was at the time she was like so out of my league when I got with her. So like I think that was like the big. So okay, in high school I was stupid and thought popularity was fun, right? Like I thought like I wanted to be popular. And the fact that I was with a popular girl at that point was like, oh my God, this is not my ticket in. I'm not saying that, but like this was like my like, I'm climbing the mountain to popularity, right? Now, I don't give a fuck. I will do what I want to do, no matter who likes it, who doesn't like it. I will dress how I want to dress. I will wear whatever I want to wear. I don't care, right? But at the time, I was like, I got these eyes on me. I need to be the cool kid. I need to be the, you know, the top of the top. So looking back at that, I think that's and for any young listeners out there, which I hope we don't have many because we talk about some sensitive stuff, but if we do, welcome. But like my thing is like, don't just be yourself, because when I wanted to be popular in high school, I got into a lot of trouble, like almost legal trouble, right? So when I went to, we're not going to talk about it. But like when I went into college, my mindset was fresh start, be yourself, make friends, just do you, right? I did that and mistakenly, not even trying, became one of the most popular people on my campus, right? Just by doing me. Like I didn't try to be some fake like person trying to be cool and fit in. I literally was just me. Did people think I was weird? Fuck yeah. Did I care? Fuck no. Like, you know what I mean? I just do you. Seriously, you will find popularity and happiness in that rather than trying to be someone you're not. Didn't mean to go on that tangent, but here we are. But no, seriously, I'm very happy for my ex who's getting married. And if anybody's listening that's confused, I'm also very happy with my current partner. So no, I'm not sad that I'm not the man that she is engaged to. I just thought it was an interesting sight to see, because I didn't know how to deal with that. But I'm good now. We move, you know. We move. Yeah. But I just thought that would be something interesting to talk about, because like that's like a real life thing. You know what I mean? It's not like a video game thing.
And everyone experiences something like that. But also, like, when you experience it for the first time, you don't know how to reconcile with your emotions either. Because I still don't even know what I'm doing out there, you know?
Right. And again, like you said about the social media stuff, we relied on social media so much for like our mindset. It's like when we see something that does not correlate with our mindset on social media, we get fucked. Like we don't know what we're doing. So yeah, but that was my interesting morning on Monday. But you know, shout out to all the happy engaged people. And that's the other thing, like mad people are getting engaged. Like take away her for now. I know like 3 people that got engaged this week. Like I don't know what's happening.
Usually when I go into my profile, I see like engagement, baby announcements, but a 3 in 1 week is a lot even for me.
Yeah, so it was my ex, it was a former swim teammate of mine, and then it was a former band kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a world.
So it crazy, crazy out here.
What a world we live in, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
That's it.
do you got really anything else to talk about? I'm kind of running out of topics. Did I miss
I
anything?
had one last thing to
Oh
talk
yeah,
about,
let's
and
do it.
I think it's a good place to end. But it is a little
Oh,
bit sensitive, so I am gonna put out a little disclaimer, a little warning here. It has to do with the continuation of a story I started.
oh, we doing it? We
Last,
doing it?
I'm gonna do it.
Oh, we gonna do
I'm
it. Strap in.
I'm gonna make it super short. I'm gonna make it super sweet, like short and sweet, not sweet. Especially because this particular story that I'm talking about does affect other people.
Oh, this is
And I know,
the
yeah,
League of Legends story, right?
no, no,
Oh,
story.
is this the is this the
So this is about
STREAMER?
a story that I have about when being a female streamer.
Ah, that's what I thought it was. Okay, all right, I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm strapping
yeah.
in. I'm clutching my pearls.
So obviously there are some not so pleasant experiences when you're a female streamer. There are pleasant experiences, and I'm lucky that I've had more pleasant than non-pleasant. But the story I'm going to quickly share with you is just a word of warning and a word of advice for anyone who might be interested in streaming, particularly those who are female streamers, and for our audience listeners, on how you can watch out for this while you're playing Valorant, while you're playing your games, something to watch out for, and something that you should stand up and be a part of helping stop. So, long story short, I was one of many people, so I'm only going to speak on the things that are pertinent to me.
Okay.
So not the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
people involved. And I am walking on thin ice here because I know that this is going to cause some DM exchanges for me, but that's okay. The point of this is awareness. So, when I first started streaming, I was very fortunate to join a group of people who also like to stream. And one thing led to another, connection leads to a connection. I was connected with someone who also was in the sphere of streaming like myself. Um, and they were my friend. We hung out together a lot. There was different spaces on Discord in which we engaged in, whether it was gaming related, D&D related, talking about it. I considered this person a really good friend. And it really broke my heart when like things started happening. So basically, when I first started talking to this person, it was always in group scenarios and it stayed that way for a long time. But basically, throughout my streaming experience, it started in my chat when this person would come into my chat and comment particularly about my looks. And it wasn't like the, oh my gosh, like, I love your hair today, girl. Like, it wasn't like the cute stuff. It was like, damn, like, you're looking pretty fine today. And then they would DM me about my body. Like, so they would say one thing on stream and then DM me something about my body. So that was the first piece. Then we would all be drinking together on Discord, or I'd be doing a drinking stream. And the comments kept coming. It came to a point where my mods asked if they could time this person out because they felt like it was inappropriate. Me at the time, I didn't think it had gotten to a line yet. I didn't feel uncomfortable yet. So I told my mods, no, like, I'll talk to them. Like, it's fine. This person is just being complimentary. Because at the time it was complimentary about my skills in the game, about my looks, whatever it may have been. It was complimentary. The part where it didn't get complimentary, and I actually include some screenshots in my Why Do Men video, is we were all drinking, and that is why this person thought it was okay to say that, because they thought I consented to it because we were all drinking. But essentially, I was streaming. I ended stream. This person shot into my DMs talking about me and my body again. And this time I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And as we were talking, as we were, doing what one does, they mentioned like, yeah, I'm really sad to hear that you have a boyfriend. I was like, well, what does this have to do with anything? I'm like, sorry, I have a boyfriend. What? I'm not going to respond that way. I'm like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, well, if you didn't have a boyfriend, like, I'd bring you to bed, the things that I would do to you. And that's when I was like,
Jesus Christ.
We're cutting this off. We're cutting this off clean. I immediately said that wasn't okay. Immediately stopped the conversation. The next day they apologized. They called me to apologize. I accepted because I was in shock still. A week later, started making comments about my sister and her looks on her stream.
Oh, yo.
2 weeks later, there was some other fishy business that came out about this person going into other people's DMs. And that night we were at a party again, slid into my DMs again, said the same thing again. Same thing. And a lot of people are going to tell me that I asked for it because it was in my DMs. I opened up my DMs to this person. But it started because I was streaming. He never knew what I looked like until he came to my stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm a little shook, if I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. And obviously there's other things with other people, but I continued to stay this person's friend because I accepted their apology and I believed that apology, I took it at face value. And I did see them make a difference. I ended up doing a couple of things in group settings and I felt super comfortable after that in group settings, right? I never felt uncomfortable again. It happened. He apologized, but he didn't change his behavior because there were other people involved and it happened again and I found out. And this person got really mad at me because they thought I didn't give them the time of day. They thought that I was believing other people's lies. That's not what it's about. At the end of the day, you made me uncomfortable. I accepted your apology, but you didn't change your behavior.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And if I'm streaming and I see you're in my chat, I shouldn't be worried about you DMing me. I shouldn't be worried about you talking about my body.
Fun fact, that's still technically sexual harassment. Just if you're watching this and you're listening, still really technically sexual harassment.
And this person, I wish all the best in the world on their own adventures. They know who they are. But the point of the matter is, just because I'm streaming doesn't give you a right to talk about my body. Number two, it doesn't give you a right to DM me disgusting things. Specifically about because sorry, I have a boyfriend.
Yeah.
No. It's not your life, it's my private matters. That's the whole parasocial thing between streamers and their chatters, right? But I thought they were my friend. And that's the hard part about being a streamer that's a girl, is you have friends that are guys, friends that are girls. Can happen to anybody, friends that are theys, right? You don't truly know ever if they're going to pull that out of nowhere or not.
Yeah. I'm kind of at a loss of words to say, to be honest. It's just, it's really like unfortunate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say like unfortunate, like no, like it's super unfortunate that not just you deal with that. Like so many female streamers deal with that. And
I'm tiny.
Yeah.
And the part of it that was worse is this person did do better than me on Twitch, like followers wise, and used that as a part of
like
the
a clout grab almost.
Yeah. And I think that that's a trap. I think that because of who I am as a streamer, when it comes to doing things for myself and being who I am, that didn't destroy me. It didn't hurt me in a way. I didn't feel I had support systems here in place. And I also took their comments at face value and I accepted their apology. And it's just unfortunate that their apology wasn't true.
Yeah.
So
especially since no, it's okay. Like, especially since he they apologized, but like it was like a comes from a bad place apology. Like it wasn't like a genuine apology. Cause like I think there's been a couple situations where like if I ever made like the friend group feel like uncomfortable, I've always been like, yo, like listen, like I'm sorry, like it's not, you know what I mean? Like that's not what I was trying to go for. Like, it sounds like he was literally just like, or I keep saying he, sorry, I should say they. They were just saying like, oh, sorry. And then next day, like, Zam, girl, let me get your body count or some shit like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to apologize, but then just prove it in your actions. Like, that's the number one thing.
Prove it in your actions. And this person and anyone else can say like, oh, they never did it to you again. It was a real apology. The point is I shouldn't have had to happen in the first place.
Yeah.
My chat shouldn't have been a place that promoted that and allowed that. And my moderators have been super great because they're not just my mods, they're my real friends.
Mm.
And they've been really great in supporting me and helping me recognize that, specifically after the fact, for what it was. Jatsky was really helpful in helping me recognize what it was.
And that's actually like really good to hear, because a lot of people would go into like jealous boyfriend mode and
No,
and just try to be like, yo, like fuck that guy, ban him, and then not care about like your feelings in that. So like that's actually really dope that he kind of
no.
helped
I'm
that.
so lucky that I don't even know how I got it, honestly. But like Jatsky has been a huge factor in helping me heal from some of that and being able to recognize it for what it was, but also just be the absolute support system that he is in getting me to continue to stream. Because at the end of the day, he's like, I'm gonna get trolls, I'm gonna get whatever it is, but that's not the reason why I stream. I
Right.
don't stream for numbers, I don't stream to get all these guys like, oh, yo, right? No, I'm there to make friends, I'm there to have fun, and anyone who impacts it negatively is not my fault. I'm not at fault for that.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for it. I'm not at fault for that experience.
Right.
I didn't give him the assumption. No, I
You
didn't.
didn't like you didn't ask for it. Like when you, so that was the other thing. Sorry, I just now remember that when you said like people are gonna say like, that you asked for it. I disagree. I think being friendly to someone in the DMs is not necessarily asking to be sexually harassed. That's just my opinion. Um, but like just because you're friendly to someone, obviously, especially if that person knows that you have a partner, that should be like a very big clue that I'm just being friendly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're friends. Like, this is a friendship. This is not a sexual relationship. This is not a sexual, you know. I truly believe that like sexual relationships have to go both ways. It can't just be a one party take all type of thing. So like if that's how you're acting and trying to kind of start that, like you're kind of in it for the wrong reasons, in my opinion. Um, but I don't know. I've always said, made it very clear, all my attentions every time it's been like a interesting relationship, like if it's been on the line. Anyway, not the point. But that is just like something that I noticed. Like you didn't ask for it at all. You didn't ask to get harassed. You just streamed. Like you being a female who streams does not ask for sexual harassment DMs. Just I don't know. I just want to validate that point.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. I feel like I kept mentioning it because I know that that was a powerful argument that can be used against that scenario.
Mm.
So I want to make it clear that that wasn't my intention as well. But also, I shouldn't have to make it clear. It should
Yeah,
just be.
that should be the imply. So this is how we should look at it. Is like instead of viewed as sexual until proven platonic, it should be platonic until proven sexual. That's kind of like the thing. Oh,
I'm snapping. I agree.
Because yeah, I have situations where that again was unclear, but and then just you come out with the intentions. So like if he would have been like, yo, like I think you're really pretty, we should get to know each other on a deeper level, that's totally different than Zam, girl, you look sexy as fuck, let me take you out to dinner. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit different than that, and I think that's just an approach that needs to be taken, especially when you're dealing with parasocial relationships. And then once you find out that they're not interested or that they have a partner, fuck off. Like but
Amen.
amen. Listen, yeah, that's fucked up,
I
man.
think that's where we're gonna end to this week, though. I have a feeling.
Oh, the last point I want to prove of that story is the fact that he homie hopped. He went to your sister is crazy. Like, oh, I struck out on one, let me go to the other. That's wild. That's like if my girlfriend had a sister and like me and my girlfriend didn't work out and then I dated her sister. That's crazy. Like that is craziness.
And like, yeah, it's just the way it was. And I wonder, like, obviously it's not my place. And I think that that's the hard part for me is like, I see it happen with others, but I can't talk about it. It's not my place. It's not my story. But I know it happened to other people. And that's what's frustrating.
And you prove and you're a good example though for those women that might be able to not talk about it because you've dealt with it and you've gone through it and you've come out stronger with it, which is a huge like thing that female streamers look for, is like those success stories of, you know, healing. And you're a great example of that. it's just unfortunate because you shouldn't have never been exposed to that in the first place. So
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you cry.
We are.
Not trying to make you cry, but all right. How you feeling? You wanna end it there? We can end it there.
I think we should end it there. We've talked about a lot. We ended on a serious note, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a bad note.
No, absolutely not. And to also reiterate, not every podcast is going to be serious.
Yeah,
we're going to have some goofy ass. I mean, it's kind of already started goofy today.
Yeah, for sure.
And then talking about like my crazy ex story is also wild. But yeah, that was a good podcast. I like that.
It was. I just want to thank everyone for listening to the entirety of it. And I just want to thank you all for liking and subscribing to the content. If you have any ideas on the topics that you would like us to particularly cover, you can feel free to comment that below. We can consider it and think about that as well. Because obviously we have things that we want to talk about, but we'd also like to talk about some things that you want to hear about.
You know what we should do? Brainstorm right off the top, real quick. Let's do a viewer comment question every episode.
Down.
So
100%.
if you made it this far, leave us a question directed to one or both of us, and we will answer it in the next podcast, and we'll make that like a whole topic. So leave your questions down below, and we'll get to them. That's how we'll start it off. How about that? That's how we'll start off each podcast, is with the viewer question.
I love it. I love it.
All right.
Perfect.
But with that being said, it's been your boy VK.
And your girl Queenie.
And we will see you guys next week on the QueenVee podcast. You all be safe, you all be healthy, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.